Obviously, the Raptors have fallen off a cliff, but we're getting a good look at a lot of different young players, a lot of different players who maybe could still provide a role for the Raptors next season when we hope things are turning around overall. So let's go through the entire roster. Let's list them all out and see who's got a chance to be here, who is going to be here, and who maybe won't be here. And also, we'll go all the way down to the people that are definitely not going to be here. So, for the tier list today, we've got 6 categories. You know me. You know I like doing my tier list content here. We have the untouchable category, self-explanatory. They're not going anywhere, which is like, yeah, if something, were to arise that's really good for us, we'd do it, but probably not. There's the probably stays tier where, I think they'll stay, but could see them not staying. There are the players who are going to have an opportunity to earn a spot in training camp. They're the players who are probably gone, and the players who got to pack their bags. There ain't no fucking way they're going to be here. So let's get started here. Gonna go in random order here. It's just been assigned randomly. Jamias Ramsey has made 2 appearances. We'll only rank him once. Starting with Grady Dick. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. I'm not gonna quite go all the way and say that Grady Dick is untouchable, because I think there would have been some conversations in the offseason, last offseason, that included Grady Dick in a deal for Damian Lillard. I don't expect any big trade to go down, but let's say the Raptors, the pick conveys to the Spurs, they have all their draft assets, and some sort of disgruntled star becomes available. I don't think Grady Dick is going to be untouchable in that conversation. So, yeah, he's here for the long haul, I believe, but if he's a sticking point in the trade, I think the Raptors probably bite the bullet and move him on. But, again, do not see that happening. Kelly Olynyk, he's not going anywhere. He's really not going anywhere. I'm not going to call him untouchable, but he just signed an extension. He's talked so much about how badly he wants to be here, how much he wants to stay, and he's a really good vet for this group. Been a fan of his game. Getting Abaji and him for a super late first-round pick seems like an absolute steal of the trade. I wasn't considering Olynyk as part of the valuation previously, but I am now. Olynyk is an important vet for this team, and really nice to have as a backup big. Javon Freeman-Liberty, we already know his status. This one's easy. He's going to get a training camp opportunity. You may have seen recently he signed a multi-year deal with the Raptors. Multi-year is technically correct. However, it's a guaranteed deal for the rest of this season, and it is a guaranteed deal up until the end of training camp. So the Raptors can waive him at the end of training camp. It's a partial guarantee, so they can waive him at the end of training camp and just cut their losses, and they don't have to pay. Not cut their losses. They don't have to pay anything else to him. If he does make the roster, they owe him a specific guarantee, probably in the range of $1 million. But they're going to give him the opportunity to earn himself a spot in training camp. That's already been basically predetermined for Javon Freeman-Liberty. Next up here is Jonte Porter. He's growing on me. I think he's going to get himself a training camp opportunity as well with this team. I think that the Raptors could do with a third big who is more aligned in the rim protection category, especially, when Jakob Poeltl does miss games due to injury. But Porter's improving as a passer. He's improving as a defender. He's a player who's had some troubled history with injuries. Only 24 years old, I think he is. So not super young, but growing into a role here, I think. I wouldn't mind having him on the roster as the third choice center. Again, maybe be better to go with one more in line with rim protection, but nonetheless, I think he's a solid roster player in, the 12 to 15 range of your depth. And I would certainly like to see him given a training camp opportunity, the opportunity to work with an NBA team over the summer, like with the Raptors. Ochai Agbaji, next up. I don't really see any reason the Raptors trade him. He's going to go in the not going anywhere category. I don't really, I don't know. He hasn't really been that good since joining the Raptors. I don't see a desire for teams out there to be trying to trade for him. I don't see him being any sort of throw-in to a deal. You know what I mean? Who's going to be out here looking for Ochai Agbaji? For that reason, Raptors probably just keep a hold of him. That seems like what makes the most sense to me at the very least. So I'm imagining that he will be staying for the Raptors. Moving down the list, we have Gary Trent Jr. Oh, does he probably stay or is he probably gone? I'm not going to I purposely did not leave a 50-50 category because I wanted to make it difficult for me and make me actually pick. So if there was a 50-50 tier, Gary Trent goes in there. Because there isn't, I lean he does end up staying. Like, if I had to choose, I don't think it'll be a crippling contract in the offseason. I don't think there's a strong desire to go anywhere. And I don't think the Raptors will be inclined to let him walk away for nothing. My opinions on Gary Trent have changed in the last few months where I said, I mean, is it the worst? Is it that bad if he walks for free? Now I'm like, yeah, make sure you maximize his value. I think he's done a decent job in adapting to a lesser usage role. And even though I think bench is a better spot for him, I think that the Raptors would be better off keeping him and then having the flexibility to move him later on. Next up, Chris Boucher. Yeah, even in the tank, this guy wasn't getting play time. I can't put him in pack your bags because that contract is horrible. And I don't know what a team wants to take on. I think it's $11 million next season. But I'd be okay having Boucher on the roster. But, man, Darko seems to not like his game. So he's probably gone. Jakob Poeltl probably stays. I think the Raptors, again, will struggle to trade him. Not that the contract is bad, but he'll have 3 years, $60 million or so left on his contract. Pretty good for a starting center of his quality. We're clearly seeing in this stretch of games, how important Jakob Poeltl is as a rim protector, defender, and overall as a bit of a playmaker on offense at times. It's just, he scores. He gives you 10, 12 points per game, 10, 12 rebounds per game, and protects the rim. I think he's a good center. Not sure he's the best fit with this team. You probably want a spacing center, but so does everybody in the NBA. They're hard to find, especially one to protect the rim well like he does. So I think Poeltl's a good player. I can see them trading him and going a bit younger in the position, but I don't see that trade being super easy to manufacture, so I think he probably does end up staying. Garrett Temple. Do I go pack your bags for Garrett Temple? I think he's going to retire. So I'll put him here. I think he's going to retire. If he's struggling to get play time for, the worst team in the NBA, what the Raptors are right now, that loss to the Wizards kind of proved it, probably retire. But he seems like a good vet, so I guess he could stay, but I'm kind of looking through the list. And I don't think I'm going to put anybody else in this tier. I don't think I will. So just so to have one, let's put him here. Mohamedou Gueye is next up. I don't know what sort of role there's going to be. I think he's 25, 26. I don't know. He's a decent basketball player. I'm not sure he's equipped for the NBA level. I can't really see him staying with the team. Maybe he gets a training camp opportunity, but I don't think he makes the roster. I'd be pretty surprised if he turned into one of the top 15 players on the team. Could he get a two-way deal? Yeah, but I think the Raptors would rather go younger with those two-way spots. I don't think so here. Jordan Nwora is a difficult one next up because I would be interested to see him in training camp. I think he's a decent fit to kind of take the lower spots of your rotation, 12 to 15, because he can hit threes, he can kind of shoot, play a lot of roles, but I don't know if he would sign he's on an expiring contract. I'm not sure he'd sign on a deal that would give us the opportunity to see him in the summer and then make a decision. So for that reason, I probably say probably gone. I don't know. Just the way things are lining up, I don't think the Raptors would be super prepared to give him a contract. Now, I can absolutely see him staying, but he probably fits more into that 50-50 tier that doesn't exist, and I probably lean further down than up when it comes to Jordan Nwora if I had to. Bruce Brown next up. Oh, this one's tough. Raptors fans, yeah, not fans of Bruce Brown, it seems. Just got dropped to the bench against the Wizards for whatever that's worth. I think it'd be strange if he was here. It'd be strange if they went a whole summer and just kept him. There is opportunity here to sign and trade him. There's opportunity for him to take his player option, which he's going to take his player option probably. Takes his player option and trade him. Opportunity to sign him on a long-term deal and trade him. That's a possibility as well. He could walk for nothing. He could stay, but I'd be pretty surprised if we got through a full summer and the Raptors went, let's just continue to keep this guy. Because it's not like he's been playing well either. He is absolutely a ceiling raiser. He's absolutely not a floor raiser. And that's what we're looking for, the latter of those two. So I do think probably gone, but not to the severity of these guys down here. Next up's RJ Barrett. He's probably really close to untouchable, but if something came in for a trade, I don't know. Like, if some weird trade possibility happens, I don't think RJ Barrett is a player that they are fighting tooth and nail to keep a hold of. Probably, he's not going anywhere, but he's not quite untouchable. I think that's fair to say. But he is the highest of these players, as I've showcased here. DJ Carton's probably gone. He's been injured. I don't know. I guess he's a guy who could end up on a two-way deal, but rosters are always shuffling. DJ Carton, I'd be a little surprised if he was still a Raptor next season. Just a lot of moving pieces. Raptors are going to bring in some more players. I don't know. I think there's other players that are going to be prioritized over Carton, especially with the injury. Kind of a shame he's been injured, but you know what? Maybe he gets a training camp opportunity. I'll toss him in there. Maybe the Raptors want to get a bigger look, and he gets a training camp opportunity. I will throw him into that mix there. Next up here is Emmanuel Quickley. He's in between this tier. I think they covet him, though. I believe they really think they got their point guard here, or at least their guard here. They want to continue to work with him. They like the floor spacing and the fit next to the most untouchable player on the roster, Scotty Barnes. Honestly, Scotty could have a tier of his own, of course, but I believe they really believe Quickley is the bright fit next to Scotty Barnes long term. So I will put him untouchable. I do not think they would have any interest in really trading him. Next up, Jalen McDaniels. He's on a contract, $4.5 million. He's probably staying. I mean, I don't love it, but he probably is staying. You know? Yeah. Who's going to take that? Will they buy him out? That doesn't really make sense. They could, but I think the likeliest case is, yeah, they just ride out that contract. And unfortunately, yeah, Jay McDee's probably going to be staying here. It's tough. It's tough, but he's probably staying. He's even the last player here. How many guys do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 3 possible draft picks. So this is 15. Yeah, I could see Jamias Ramsey sticking around for training camp. He has looked, I think the Raptors will provide him one of those Freeman Liberty contracts. I think there's a good chance. He's been getting good play time. He started against the Wizards recently. I think there is opportunity for the Raptors to say, let's see what he's like in the summer. He's only 22. He's put up really good numbers in the G League, was an impressive player in college. Let's see him in the summer. See if he's a good fit for what we have going forward. And if he is, great. If he's not, no problem. We're not going to invest any guaranteed money into him. But there you have it. That is the final product here. Let me know what you think of it. And would you make any changes?